CCG channel here once again. This is part 3. We're going to talk more about some of the specifics of the card game, and if I do go over stuff from the last previous videos, feel free to just skip past it, or just keep it as a quick reminder for what we talked about in the previous videos. But we're going to talk about these cards, and these are unique cards. Unique cards, you can only have one per deck, or you can pack. That's the key word that we use, packing one per deck. These cards are usually specific cards like Brock Lesnar here. And you all know about stun value on here. Stun value. If this stops around 6 or 5 or even I think 7 too, you get to draw one card because I have one stun value. So that's what that is. Also, with this card too, there are things called Raw and SmackDown. Just like on TV, there is a Raw brand and there's a SmackDown brand. Back in 2004, I believe, that was the first draft of WWE. They came out with these cards, and Brock Lesnar was a part of SmackDown. Nowadays, he left, and now he's a part of Raw, so he wouldn't have SmackDown cards anymore. So a lot of people, like let's say Rey Mysterio, for example. Rey Mysterio was on, I think, SmackDown first, then went to Raw, then went back to SmackDown, then went back to Raw again. And, so these cards are, it's pretty dumb to put them on here because it only restricts them to a specific type of SmackDown. It's like I only do SmackDown maneuvers. Deck must be all SmackDown cards, or at least every card has to have a SmackDown logo in some sort of way. I cannot mix SmackDown cards with Raw cards. So that's pretty much that. So there's like a little restriction on how to play this card. So unless there's a card that states that I can play Raw and SmackDown cards together, that's totally fine. The next thing we have here, guys, is this reversal again. Now, the thing is that, yeah, it's a reversal, does 2 damage, but what's this thing over here? What does that mean? There's 2 fingers pointing in opposite directions. That is called an RMS symbol. I think it's called the restricted modification symbol. And what that basically is let's say I had a modifier that does an extra 6 damage on reversals. If I had, let's say, this card right here, Manager Interferes, it would do 6 plus the 1, it would be 7. It would be 7 damage altogether, but on this card it's only 2 because it restricts me from doing anything more to add more damage to this card. So that's all RMS is. And over here, guys, we're going to talk about specials on here. This is a special type of reversal. It states on here how to do that requirement. A lot of them do reverse, strike, grapples, submission, high risk, but these are special reversals. Much like on TV with heel and faces, or bad guys and good guys, your deck must be either face or heel. It cannot be both unless stated otherwise. I believe Kurt Angle can pack both heel and face cards, so that's it. Next we're going to talk about the throwback sign right up here. The throwback sign basically means, it basically is a reprint. That's what that means. It's a reprint, and it's for the better of the game, because this card, Raw Deal Revolution, could have been total crap, let's say, in the few sets ago, or it could have a different ability, at least a little bit different from what this says. But if it's a throwback and there was no unique symbol here, if that was like, I can pack 3 pretty much. I can pack 3 of those, and if it's not there, if it is there, I can't. But if it's not there, I can pack 3 in the deck. And it can be a combination of 2 throwbacks. It could be, just this card, or it can be 3 throwbacks. Or we can have, 1 original, 2 original, 3 original. That's all throwback is, that it's a reprint. But you can actually have the older card as well in the set. So as long as it's 3 per deck and not unique, you're pretty much good. But if this is a unique card, which it is, it's only 1. So you can either have that one or the original. Much like with Raw and SmackDown, there is also things called fan favorite and cheater. Pretty self-explanatory. Like with Raw and SmackDown, you can only have either cheater or fan favorite. I think like Triple H at least had like a fan favorite card and a cheater card. I don't know how that was going to work. I think him or Shawn Michaels has it. But yeah, it's really weird. Really weird. Continuing on with keywords here and other weird things too, and shiny things pointing at my camera. There's a thing called universally unique. Basically, there's only one Vince McMahon interferes in your deck. It's all you can have. It's unique, but it's also universal on the ring in the ring area. So during the game, if I only have, if my opponent has Vince McMahon interferes and I have it and I play it first, he can't play Vince McMahon interferes. So it's like having Vince in your corner getting ready to hit Hulk Hogan with a chair. It's pretty cool. Alright, onward to ACE, which we talked about. I'm definitely pretty sure we talked about this one. ACE is when it happens, I can pop it and flip it over, and I get the effect of that card. Permanent, as we said before, permanent stays in the ring area permanently, cannot be removed. That's pretty much it. And there's also active cards. And active cards, there's active abilities on here. For example, on here it said you cannot play pre-match cards. Okay, so if I make this the last card in my pre-match lineup, that's pretty good because I don't have to play any more pre-match cards anymore. If I play it first, that's a pretty dumb move. I don't know why you would do that. That's a stupid move. So you don't want to do that. So active means it's like activated effect, like a continuous card effect, like let's say like Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh! And I guess Magic has some continuous cards as well. So if you think of it in card game terms, it's sort of an ability that, and at least an effect that it activates when you play it. So that's pretty much that. Onward to deck types and other things. As you can see right here, I do have my Brock Lesnar deck back out here, for example. Bash cards. And Bash cards, I can have as many cards with Bash in the title on the ring area, and actions and other things can affect it and either recover or draw or do more damage or whatever. I think Bash is mainly recovery. But there are types of decks here too that you can try out for yourself if you do find the cards. There's things called heat cards. What heat cards basically is if you have 6 in your discard pile or your ringside pile, you can activate heat cards. And let's say if this is my ringside, let's say if this is my deck and this is my ringside pile. And if I had like a heat card in here, I can go through the ringside pile and pick one up and play it automatically. So it's like having maneuvers in your hand, ready to go, and of course your opponents can reverse it as a regular reversal. So it's more options to get the cards you got discarded into the ring area. That's all that is. So if it's in here, play it out. If it's reversed, back in here. But if I, try to play it again, I try to play it again and goes through. Works. It stays in the ring area. Chain cards. Chain cards basically are, let's say if I played a chain card, let's say I played this card. I discard 2 cards from my hand, let's say, discard pile, and attempt to reverse it with that card. And it goes through because I got it through. What you can also do, let's say if that goes through, I can discard 1 reversal, and then hopefully my deck here, my arsenal, has a reversal on the flip. So we're going to go through, 10 damage, let's say, 1, 2 on stop, let's say. And that would stop that. But it's still a successful maneuver because I didn't reverse it from my hand, but I just reversed that. I can reverse it as such. That reversal card actually goes in the ring area, not in the ringside pile. And then you would overturn and then play that off. So you can, have an elbow to the face or something like that, and, you can keep flipping cards over until you get another reversal, and, so it just takes 2 reversals to stop it. So I think it really works well in maybe control decks. Control decks chain will actually work out pretty well. There's also volley, and no one plays volley, so whatever. No, I'm not gonna say that. What volleys basically is, let's say my opponent plays this card, and what I can do is I can take 7 cards from here and take them from the ringside pile, remove them from the game to reverse this card. So there's an extra way to reverse this card without using reversals or other actions or whatever. So what happens now is that I reversed it. What happens next is that I draw a card. And if I don't play a card this turn that is not a, I believe, maneuver or a setup action, if I don't play those, on my opponent's next turn, he gets to take a volley card from his discard pile and put it back to his hand. So I think that's how volley works. But then again, I never really hampered with volley that much. I was more of a chain guy. And of course, there are types of decks like we hear with Bash. There's also technical and dynamic, and I think in the virtual set there's classic cards as well. So that's pretty much part 3 in a nutshell. Part 4, I don't know what part 4 is going to be yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be something really sweet. So subscribe and stay tuned, and we'll get those videos out as soon as possible, guys. Thanks for watching.